Hey Brian, Robert here. You came out to my house today and gave me a diagnosis on the furnace. As we were talking before, I wanted to send a quick video just in regards to your website. A couple of things that may help you out here. And as you can see, some of it will be a recap, a little bit of it will be new. So I'm going to try and keep this as short as possible. So let's go. Very first thing when we get on your website that we were talking about before is I noticed that the website is not secure, right? So this really kind of looks bad in the eyes of Google. It's in their eyes, it's not a trusted website, which definitely hurts your ranking. So this is an easy fix that could be done in the back office of your website. Real easy to do there. So that's one area right here. Well, I like the pictures that are on here. Absolutely clean looking website. The only thing is there's extremely minimal content on here. You really need about 1,000 words on your home page. And you need to have some good, just lightly sprinkled in keywords that we're going to go through in just a minute here. But definitely need a lot more on that front page here as I was showing you on some of the sites that I have, right, that have a lot more content and some pictures also too. So keep that in mind. Now, looking at keywords, when we're looking at the keywords to see where your ranking, which we're going to go into in just a minute for Google. Right now that we're in the winter, obviously this is the hot topic right now, no pun intended, but furnace repair, right? So these are the average monthly searches. So if we look at just average furnace repair Barrie, furnace repair in Newmarket, right? There's only with these two right here, there's only about 100 to 1,000 searches a month, which isn't bad. That's a lot of people still out there searching for those. But of course, for furnace repair itself, there's between 1,000 to 10,000 a month of people actually searching just for that term by itself. So keep that in mind. These are things that you want to have sprinkled in. Of course, there are other keywords here too, right? You can see all of these lists below as far as words around furnace and repair and fixing furnaces, stuff like that too. These are all things that I would personally, if it was my website, I would, again, the list goes on and on. I won't roll you through everything here. But what I would do is I would take those and create a much longer home page, even if your other pages here, like your furnace service page, stuff like that, even isn't that long. Really, Google looks at that home page and they want to see it's kind of like an initial contact. When they send out their little bots to be able to go check your information, they want to see if the information that somebody's looking for is on that homepage, and the more user friendly you can make it and really specific to what you're doing, of course, then that really helps them to rank your website much higher. So keep that in mind moving forward. Okay, so that's one area, a lot more content on that homepage. So we went through the keywords. Also here, we wanted to look to see where you ranked in the maps. Remember, there's two areas to the maps. There's the first part, which of course you're familiar with all this, but just to recap, there is the map pack, or some people call it a snack pack because it's 3. Right? Everybody tries to get in these top 3 spots here, which is really important. And then there's the other organic section down here too. This is just as important, and I'll tell you why. First of all, this is all manipulated by Google. Yes, you can definitely get in these top 3. I think you said at one point in time you were in there, but then you had some problems with your listing because you moved from Newmarket to the Barrie area. And I want to go through that in just a second here, what I found inside of it, and just maybe thinking a little bit outside of the box. But obviously you're not in that area there. But they can definitely manipulate this area right here, right? But what's just as equally important, I would say almost if not more important, is to be able to be in this. This is all the organic ranking here, right? We're going to go through where you rank in just a minute. Google can't touch this right here. Once you naturally organically rank high, they can't mess with that. This can be messed with and manipulated by Google. I'm not saying it's not worth trying to get up there because it definitely is. But depending on where their stock is at, if they need to sell more Google ads, like you see further up here, right? Then this can be manipulated by them. And it's, unfortunately, we call it the Google dance because that's really what it is. I've got, like you saw, a couple of my sites that are ranked up in the top 3 right there. Other ones I still work on. And of course, I've got several customer spots who are ranked in the top 3 as well, too. But that being said, sometimes they can move around. Okay, so let's take a look at where you're at. As you already know, you're down to number 12, I think it was. And I did count, so you were bang on. You're definitely down to 12. While you're 12 down, there's still a lot of room for improvement. So how do we get you kind of up to that top 3, okay, that people are looking for? And don't take those ads as the top 3. You'll see them, right? So like these ads here, they're always going to have some people who are, actually it's not in here, but sometimes you'll see like an ad up in the spot here, and then they'll have 3 below it. Anyway, so how do we get you to that area? Well, there's a few things to do right off the bat. You can do these yourself, or of course I can help you. That's not a problem whatsoever. We could definitely talk about that. But the very first thing when I look at this is I notice you only have one picture up here. Okay, so you need a lot more pictures. I'm talking upwards, I would say minimum 50 to 100 pictures. I'm not sure if you have a bunch of pictures of your installs that you've done before. Or repairs, but anything you could do with furnaces in it, man, that's great. So not only do you take a bunch of pictures or have a bunch of pictures loaded on the back end of this, but you also geotag them too to the Newmarket or Aurora area, whichever one you want to get into, right? So I would do a bunch of those, geotag them because it has the location, and then write keywords on top of those, like furnace repair, Newmarket, things like that, right? And these pictures will start to show up, and not only will they show up for sure, but that'll also help you rank higher up the ladder, okay? That's one area that you have. I would also do something called in here, which I'm going to kind of move this around. These are called citations. So a citation is something, it's like a business directory where you would be listed. Okay, so if the more business directories you're located in, like a Yellow Pages Online, or there's there's hundreds and hundreds of business pages to be listed in, I would definitely get some of these citations in there. These are, again, easy fix to do. They do take a little bit of time and work, and they do take a little bit of time to help you start ranking, but it's absolutely critical to your success. Now, I looked at the top ones, or really kind of the top 7 or 8 that are in here, right? And I looked at who's ranking what. So you've got a couple of folks that are ranking. These are the citation sources. Okay, I would have minimum in here, if I were you, 100 citations. That's going to help. Just the more you can blow these guys away, the better off you're going to be. If you could see, even the only number 1 and number 2 spots, and one of these is even an ad, right? Like that Royal Fresh that we were talking about earlier, they only have 24 citations, okay? So that's like really minimal when it comes down to it. I did put all these other ones in here too. Actually, it pulled them up for me. I didn't personally put them in, but I did put yours in. You have 0 citations. That's hurting you, my friend. You have to get some citations going. Again, something we can help you do there. So keep that in mind, all right? So we looked at where you rank in the map pack. That's number 12, citations. Also, let's talk about your organic listing, where you're at. Just for time's sake, because we're already running into 8 minutes here, and again, I apologize, I don't usually do a video this long. You're on page 2 currently, which means you're not getting seen, right? So even though your website's there, there's too many companies out there, heating, cooling, fixing companies that do all that stuff, HVAC. I would definitely start to work on this section as well too, because no one's calling you because, oh, I saw you on page 2 of Google, right? If anything, they're looking back here, and they might be scrolling down, and they might be looking from there. So, but this is just as important. I would call them 50-50 equal in as far as relationship to get this on page 1. Really, really critical. Again, something we can help you do here. And last thing I wanted to show you, this is like an overall, I'll call it a health check in the eyes of Google. It's a tool that I use here to see where you're actually, how they see you, right? What but their bots go out and pull back information from you. So when we take a look at your description here, let me go back up here. So you have something called a title tag. The title tag is the information that's, let me see it here, sorry. So the title tag is basically the information that's up here, right? This tells Google really kind of what you're about in your information, okay? So you do have All Comfort Heating and Cooling and New Market, right? When we go to that, that's actually, that's okay. That's not bad. I maybe would make it actually, I would leave that alone, okay? But I would definitely put in a description of your business. That's where you're hurting there too. Description is this area here, right? This is all description area. Like if we get out of the ads, just even service repairs, stuff like that. Those are areas right here. You need that. That's going to help you. But the biggest thing that's really going to help you, what you really need help with here, this is called a header tag. This header tag right here is like the title to a book. If you don't know the author of the book and you know, catch there's a catchy title, Google's going to look at it the exact same way here, right? So this All Comfort and Heating, Cooling offers heating and cooling air conditioning services. If we take a look at that, that's on your website right here. There are some good keywords in there, but I would really make that different. I would make that based around these keywords that you see in here, these top keywords, right? Like furnace repair, New Market, or Barrie too, right? So you have those in there on your website. Those will naturally help you rank. Keep that in mind. Again, fixes that can be done. And then also too, this is called an H2. Those are like subtitles. You don't have any whatsoever, okay? So these are, again, things that are kind of hurting you. This one is really kind of hurting you here, getting this, making sure that you don't have citations. That's really kind of killing you too. You need to get the citations. So there's a couple different ways we can go about this. If you want to talk further, I told you I don't do any contracts. You know I'm local, right? We met face to face. This is like the second time now that you've come over to my house to help me out. And like I said, I don't do contracts, but you know, I can definitely help you take care of these. I know we could discuss pricing a little bit more before. I shouldn't have probably done that up front because I don't want you to think, whoa, this is just too much. So there's a couple different levels we can go to this. We could definitely take a look and see with just the citation level by itself, meaning just really put a focus on here in this map area. Personally, if you want to start there, that's not a problem. We could start in that area. But if you really want to put the pedal to the metal and not only get ranked up in this area here, remember, this can change from time to time. It's not a guarantee to stay up there. But I would really, if you're putting the pedal to the metal, focus on this area here too. This is where Google won't touch you, and not really much they can. I mean, I guess if they really wanted to, but there's just no reason for them to do it, right? There's so many sources. So a couple areas we could help you out. Listen, if you're interested, I'm going to send this video over. Take a look at it, okay? And I'm also going to send you another little gift you're going to see inside of here too. There is something, oh, I did notice here that when we go up, when we look at the amount of Google reviews, I'm going to send you where to be able to get more Google reviews too, right? I'm going to send you a free link that's going to be for your business, okay, to be able to get a Google reviews, more of them. Just send them out to your customers, ask them to rate you. It's a free link, and that'll help your ranking too. The reviews are not as big of a deal anymore like they used to be, but they are definitely still help. And you need every little edge that you can get on your competitors. One thing I want to tell you before I get out of here, looking at this, you said you were waiting on a postcard again. Well, when you're waiting on a postcard with that PIN number, that's usually for one of two reasons. One is if you don't have a listing, which you already do, or two, if you're suspended and they need to re-verify you. I don't see you being either one of them. You've got a listing, you're not suspended, because if you were suspended, your business wouldn't show up here. So before you type that number in, I would really kind of wait a second. Let me see if I can help you out with that. Again, kind of look in the back office. See if there's something in the back office of your Google My Business listing, right? When you go log in that says suspension or new PIN verification required. If that is required, then you have no choice maybe but to do it. But until you see that, I don't know, because you're still right here, right? That's still your website. It still shows you listed in there. So don't mess with something that's not broken at this time. So anyway, sorry, I'm a little long-winded here, and I thought I'd shoot this off. Get back to me if there's any questions, and my number's below. Take care.